practice community.
So let's come into a seated shape. So the tangent that I was going on a moment ago was just that, so one of my favorite yoga teachers that I go to his class a few times a week here in Bali, he's traveled, he's left country, which is one of the cool things about Zoom yoga is that I never leave you. I'm always just like there on your computer. But anyway, it's forced me to have to like change and discover new yoga practices and find something else to do. And so I started doing hot yoga again, and just kind of reminds me how our life moves in cyclical ways, and we go through different patterns at different times in our lives when we do different things or different other things. And so as you drop into stillness and close the eyes, maybe think about what pattern or season of your life you're in right now. You can close the eyes and just rest the palms, connect to the breath. So I know for a lot of parts of the world right now, we're in this time period of letting go. Right? The leaves change colors and they fall, and there's a different smell, and there's like a crunch on the ground. The days get shorter and colder. You know, I don't experience any of this because I don't live in a place with seasons, but I remember it. And I can get on board with that idea of seasons and letting go and changes. So those are the thoughts today. What season of your life are you in right now? What changes are you moving through? What are you letting go of? Let's take our palms into heart center. Let your thumbs connect to the heartbeat. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Two more big breaths in. Big breath out. Take one more inhale. Good. One more exhale. And then interlace the palms, push the palms down towards the base of the belly. Lift the arms up. Nice. We're going to reach the arms over to the right. And then lift the arms up. And then reach over to the left. And then reach the arms up. And then we're just going to release the grip and do a little pivot. So land your left palm on your right knee. Land your right fingertips behind you, gaze over the right shoulders. This is a new playlist, by the way. I decided this class was going to be autumn leaf themed. So I typed into Spotify autumn leaves yoga, and shockingly there was a playlist called Autumn Leaves Yoga, and this is it. Let's lift our arms all the way up. And then go the opposite way. I don't know if you guys just saw my cat just poke her head up. Let's lift our palms all the way up towards the sky. Nice. Take the palms into heart center. And then land your palms on your knees and just do some spirals. These are Sufi grinds. So this class is mindful flow too, and what that means is it's going to be a bit more active. But I want you to remember that you are your first teacher. And I'm just here with some invitations for you, some suggestions, but ultimately, you know what it's like to live inside your body. You know how things feel. Let's circle the other way. So make choices based on what feels right for you today. Good, and then just come into neutral, come into center. I'm gonna slide off this cushion and grab hold of a yoga block or book or imaginary block. You don't need one necessarily, but we're gonna lie all the way down. And if you do have a block, place it between your feet. Rest the palms underneath the hips. And then just lower the block down and lift it up. We're gonna start with core today. Now, I not only did Bikram yoga this morning, but I also taught a sweat class. And I went for an hour-long walk. I'm not normally this active. But being active has really good mental health benefits. And that's basically why I do it. Because I've struggled with my mental health all my life, and I've discovered that there are these things that can really help it, including being active, learning about the different things that I need to eat to fuel me, so like the nutrients and vitamins that I need. Sleep really helps. Reading, connection, sunlight. What are the tools that you have in your toolkit? If you're anything like me, this time of year got a little bit darker. I struggled with my moods in the seasons. And so if you can relate to that, what tools can you put into your toolkit to make this season a little bit easier on you? Take 2 more. Hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Just place your block to the side. And you're gonna draw your knees in, interlace the palms behind the back of the skull, lift up, tap your right elbow to your left knee. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Opposite way. Left elbow, right knee. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now we go opposite elbow, opposite knee. Yasser is the only person in here who's come to both my yoga classes today. So he's done this twice now. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Come all the way around. Take the palms around the shins. Give your body a sweet little hug. Release. Take the palms on the backs of the thighs. Let's take our way up. And then we're gonna come all the way over and into a child's pose. So you can land your knees, take your knees a little bit apart, bring the toes together, sit the hips back on the heels, rest the forehead. And then walk your hands over to the right, stretch through the left side body. So something really interesting I noticed today is this yoga teacher that I went to. I went to her Bikram class, but I also went to her Vinyasa class the day before. And when she taught Vinyasa, she encouraged us to close our eyes. And then today in her Bikram class, she just kept saying that we must keep our eyes open. And me being a yoga teacher, I know that these are just different lineages of yoga and different beliefs of the creators that she's just stepping into when she teaches a certain style of yoga. Let's take our palms through center and then walk our hands over to the left. Rest the forehead. But I couldn't help but think, as someone who's a beginner to yoga, if you had come to that one class on Thursday or Friday, whatever day it was, and had your teacher applauding you for closing your eyes, like she literally came over to me and was like, I love that you have your eyes closed. And then you came the next day and she's saying, open your eyes, open your eyes, open your eyes, keep them open. Like that would be very confusing. Let's take your palms through center and then lift up into a tabletop. And I definitely don't mean to criticize this teacher because I know that she's just trying to teach the different styles of yoga that she's like supposed to be teaching at this studio. Let's extend the left leg. Take the right arm up, or you might land the palm if the balance feels a little wobbly today. And we're gonna try to connect elbow to knee. But anyway, the reason why I share this is because I just think it's really important that we as yoga teachers try to practice from a place of inclusion and being trauma informed and kind of letting people decide, do you want your eyes open? Do you want your eyes closed? What feels good for you? There is no right or wrong. There's no police officer who's going to come around, no yoga police who's going to get you into trouble if you're doing one or the other. So I really want you to just tune into your body. What does it need right now? Do you need your eyes open for a bit more steady or security or maybe awareness of the space around you? Or maybe you do want an inward experience and you want your eyes closed. But this is like your place. I want you to know that you have the autonomy to decide. Do one more. And then extend the arm and extend the leg. Perhaps you kick your left foot back and reach the ankle and open through the heart. This is a pretty expansive back bend. If it is 6 a.m. for you or whatever time it is, don't worry if you're not quite there yet. And then release your knee, release your palm. Just come into a tabletop. Take a big breath in, expand through your heart. Exhale, curl the spine, tuck the chin. Come all the way back into a neutral. Extend your right leg. Nice. Lift your left arm up. Big breath in. Tap your elbow to meet your knee. Do this a few times. Maybe 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Extend the leg and extend the arm. Now perhaps you kick it back. Nice. Grab hold of the ankle, open through the heart. Just see how that feels for your body. And then release your palm, release the knee, take an inhale, open through the heart. Exhale, curl the spine. And then come all the way into a neutral. Spread your palms, spread your fingers, tuck your toes. Lift all the way up and back, find your down dog. Lift the hips up towards the sky. So what we're gonna do today is flow, linking our breath with our movement and our movement with our breath. The intention being to just find a flow that feels good in our bodies. Let's walk our hands back to meet our feet, find a forward fold, and grip our palms to opposite elbows, letting the head go. You can rock from side to side. And then release the palms, take an inhale, halfway lift. Take an exhale, fold. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Take your palms into your heart center. Release the hands alongside the hips. And just walk each foot one at a time to the front of the mat. Just lifting up one foot and then lowering it. Anchor the palms at the heart center again. Take a big breath in, lift the arms up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lift the arms up to stand. Exhale your palms in heart center. Now this is your flow. I invite you to just do 2 more. Moving with your breath. Linking breath with movement. Movement with breath. After the third variation, we're going to find our way all the way to a plank. You got it, nice. Push the ground away, choose your modification. You could have your knees lowered, you could have knees lifted. If your wrists are sensitive, perhaps you're on the forearms. There's this quote that I came across on Instagram the other day. I want to share it with you. It was, there's many ways up the mountain, and the only wrong way is the person who stands there at the bottom trying to tell you the right way. Move through your flow. So you're just going to lower down. Elbows go back. Keep them close along your body. Lift your heart up into a variation of a back bend. Come all the way up and back to a down dog. Leave your left foot where it is. Lift your right leg up. And then just draw the right knee in. Now, if you can't quite step it all the way through, you might just use your hand and lift it and bring it all the way forward until eventually you come up into a lunge. And I love that quote because I feel as though we think that there's like right or wrong, black or white, good or bad. But in reality, there's like many different ways up the mountain, right? And we're all maybe taking a different route. That doesn't mean that we're moving the wrong way. So it's like in yoga, if you're doing a different shape or a different flow, or you take a different transition to get to a posture, many different ways up the mountain. Let's take the palms all the way forward. Good work, team. Step your right foot back. Move through your vinyasa flow. Come all the way up to your down dog. Go the opposite way. Take your left leg up. Draw your left knee in. Step the foot between the palms. Lift the arms up. Settle your gaze. And then come all the way forward with both palms. Beautiful. Step the foot back. So there's your flow. Super simple. Just a lunge. Let's move through it 2 more times. And if you do want to take rest, one variation, I don't think I showed this to you yet. You can sit the hips back on the heels and rest the forehead. This is your child's pose. And this is a home base pose that you can come back to at any point. Nice. So when you're ready, you can start to move your body through 2 flows, 2 warm-up flows. Nice. Good. Nice. And we'll all congregate eventually back in child's pose, no rush when you've done your flows. So this idea of autumn leaves and fall and letting go. I chose this theme because of a book that I'm reading right now. The book is called, I think it's called Necessary Endings or Inevitable Endings, or anyway, the book is about endings. And so many of us as human beings, we hold on because we don't accept that endings are a normal part of life. Right? We think endings mean that we've failed, whether it's a failure of a relationship, a failure at a job, a failure to live in a certain place, a failure of a dream. But what the author so well articulates is that sometimes if you're holding on, that's going to be the very thing that dooms your success, right? Because that grip is going to block you from having the ability to actually move forward into where you need to be. Let's come all the way up to our tabletop again. Beautiful. We're going to come all the way up to a down dog. And we're going to do what's called a mandala flow today. So we are going to move around the mat in a circular motion. And if you get a little lost, just know that you'll be found. You'll find your way eventually. So from your down dog, take the right leg up. And then we're going to bend through the right knee and stack the hips. And then maybe come all the way forward, land the right toes. Open through the heart. Come all the way around, land your right palm. Lift your right leg up. Now 3 little core moves. We're going to come forward, right knee into the nose. Take it all the way up. Right knee, right elbow. Take it all the way up. Right knee, left elbow. Good, take it all the way up. Step your right foot between your palms. Lift all the way up and open up to what's called a warrior two. So you're gonna land your left heel, take your left arm back, right arm forward. Just check that your right knee is stacking above your right ankle. Settle your gaze and drop into stillness. Gazing over the fingertips, connect to the breath. And move with your breath. Inhale, reverse your warrior. So land your left palm, reach your right arm up. Exhale your elbow to your thigh. Amazing work, team. Let's do a few. Reversing the warrior and coming forward. I'm so delighted that there's 10 of you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. I can't tell if I'm counting wrong. 9 or 10. Anyway, the point is, someone asked me on LinkedIn the other day. It's one of my old colleagues. He kind of gives me a hard time sometimes, but he messaged me being like, is there actually a market for Zoom yoga now that the pandemic's over? And sometimes I doubt myself. I'm like, oh, it's ending. And then to see how many people are still here enjoying the benefits of this practice shows that there absolutely is a role for this in our lives. Let's do one more, reverse the warrior. And then come all the way forward, right elbow onto the thigh. Now maybe you take the right palm to the inside of the right foot if you want. Just an option. Perhaps you come into the bind if you know what I'm talking about. Nice. So why do you keep coming back for Zoom yoga? What's the relevance that it has in your life? Is it that you can practice from the comfort of your home? You feel safe. It's easy. You don't have to take off your pajamas. That's my favorite. Maybe it's that you can be with your pets. What's the relevance in this in your life? Let's press through both feet, lift all the way up. Good, lengthen through your right leg. Reach your right arm forward. Take your right arm alongside your right calf, lift your left arm up. This is your Utthita Trikonasana. And now if you want to, you might shift weight onto your right foot, right fingertips. Balancing in your half moon. Perhaps you kick the foot back into sugar cane if you want to. And then let's release the foot. So now we're gonna start to swivel around the mat. So we're gonna step the left foot back, lengthen the right leg, turn all 10 toes inward, hinge the body forward. Land your right palm, lift your left arm up. Land your left palm, reach your right arm up. Do a few more like this. Anchor the palm, lift the left arm up. And then land your left palm, reach your right arm up. Land the palm, take both hands onto the hips, lift all the way up. This is my cat, Princess. We're gonna turn our left toes to the back of the mat now, so we're gonna turn our bodies to face the other side of the space and lift off of our back right heel. So this is called a crescent lunge. And now we're gonna explore hovering our back knee and extending it up. Now it was pouring rain in Bali just before this class started. It's the rainy season. And because of that, it's a bit too wet right now for this, but usually at this time of the night, my cat would have caught a giant green bug in her mouth. She catches them every night. And she kills them and she delivers them on my yoga mat. It's like her love offering to me. Okay, let's take our palms into heart center. Start to shift weight onto your left foot. Extend your right leg behind you. Press through the big toe. Now, part of life and part of yoga is that you are going to stumble. You are going to make mistakes. You're going to have moments that you regret. It's not the stumbling that defines us. It's how we move forward from that stumble, right? How we recover. Let's come all the way up now and explore one thing. Cross your right thigh on top of your left. Lift your arms up. Cross your right arm underneath the left. This is Garudasana, eagle. Got super uncomfortable. Know that discomfort is a place of growth. Discomfort is a good thing. One more breath. And then land your right foot, sweep your arms up. Take your palms into your heart center. Lift on your tippy toes. Do your little quarter swivel. Land your heels. Okay, we've made it all the way around. Step your left foot wide. Turn your left toes to the front of the mat. Bend through the left knee, warrior two. Should be facing the front of the mat now. Take an inhale, reverse the warrior. And then windmill the palms of the mat and frame the foot. Beautiful. You're getting low. Anchor through your right palm, lift your left arm up. Nice. You've made it. Yeah, you've made it. You're doing amazing. And now let's roll all the way back into a side plank. Just do a few scoops under and up with the arm for 3. For 2. Last one. And then land your left palm. Move through a flow or go straight back to down dog. Nice work, team. Good. And then once you've made it to your down dog, I invite you to just land your knees onto the mat. Come into your child's pose. Rest your forehead. This is your home. Right? So many of us search the outside world for home. We find that it's here all along. Right? It's inside of us. Lift up to your tabletop. Beautiful. Come back to your down dog. You got it. Take your left leg up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Bend the knees, stack the hips, reach your left toes over to the right. Yeah, you got it, Darlene. Nice. If you want to flip your dog, go for it. You know what to do. Amazing. If you want to stay in child's pose for the rest of the class, feel free. Come all the way around. Take your left leg up towards the sky. Nice. Good. Draw your knee in to meet your nose. Come into a core plank. Solar plexus activated. Fire lit. Good. Extend it back. 3-legged dog. Nice. Tap your left knee to your left elbow. Beautiful. Come all the way back, 3-legged dog. Amazing. Tap your left knee across to your right elbow. Good. Take it all the way back. And now draw the left foot in and step the foot between your palms. You can use your hands to get it there. Nice. Lift all the way up and open up to a warrior 2. So your left arm is forward and your right arm is back. Beautiful. You got it. Stack the left knee over the left ankle. Settle the gaze over the left fingertips. Know that exactly where you are is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I actually spent a lot of time in Bikram today in child's pose because I was like so dizzy from the heat. I thought I was going to pass out or like barf. But the point is that the mature thing is to rest when you need rest, right? That's a sign of wisdom. Let's breathe in, reverse the warrior. Take your elbow onto your thigh. Do a few like this. And then you choose where you want to be. With your elbow on your thigh, perhaps you can reach your palm down towards the mat. Maybe you come into a bind if that's part of your practice. And then let's lift all the way up. Lengthen our left leg. Shorten the stance. Reach the left arm forward. Take your left arm alongside your left calf. Reach the right arm up. And now maybe you shift weight onto your left foot, left fingertips. Come up to your half moon. Perhaps you kick the foot back. Take a little sugar cane pose for 3, for 2. And then 1, release the foot. Step the foot all the way back. Let's turn our toes in. This time I'm going to interlace the palms behind the sacrum, expand through the heart. And then come all the way forward. Reach the arms up overhead. Good. Take one more breath. Press through the feet, lift all the way up. Turn the right toes to the back of the mat. Take the palms on the hips. Pivot all the way around. Let's bend the knee. Lengthen it all the way up. Do a few more. Good, one more. Start to shift weight onto your right foot. Oops. I have my palms together. And now let's come all the way up to stand and just stack our left thigh on top of the right. Lift the arms up. Amazing. Take your left arm over top of the right. Come into eagle. Get really uncomfortable. Know that discomfort is a place of growth. Take one more breath. If you fall, it's okay. And then come all the way up to stand. Sweep the arms up. Connect your palms in a heart center. And just know that wherever you are right now, you are facing the right direction. Just lift onto your tippy toes, do a little swivel. Land the heels, step back. We're almost done. Step your right foot forward. Turn your right toes out. Bend through the right knee, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And then just windmill your palms to the mat, frame the foot. Let's step all the way back, come into a side plank. Scoop the arm under and up for 3, 2, and 1. And then just land your right palm, land the knees, slowly lower down. Take the palms alongside the hips. Nice. Now what we're going to do is have our belly in. So our pelvis heavy, our belly light. Lift the legs, lift the arms, lift the head up off the mat. Stay here for 3, 2. And then 1, and just rest a cheek. Now next back bend, you could do the exact same thing, or you could interlace the palms and open through the heart. For 3, 2, And then one, lower down and rest a cheek. Now a third variation, you could take pose number 1, pose number 2, or you might kick your feet back and grab hold of the ankles. And then just lift the heart all the way up, hanging out here for 5, for 4, 3, 2. And then on one, lower down. Just let your feet windshield wipe. This act of windshield wiping always feels really good for my quads, which can get really tight. Let's come all the way through center now. Just rest the feet, take the palms underneath the shoulders. Lift up to a table. Come all the way back to your down dog. Take the right leg up. Draw the right knee in. You're gonna lay the right shin across the width of the mat. So you're making like a number 7 with your legs. Slide the knee back, take a big breath in. And then come all the way forward onto your elbows. Good. So this is pigeon pose. This is where we hold layers of tension. And I want you to know that it's very normal to experience any and all emotions in this pose. Good, take one more breath. And then come all the way up to your downward facing dog. And then let's go the opposite way. So take your left leg up. Lay your left shin across the width of the mat. Just snuggle the right knee back, take a breath in. Come all the way forward onto the elbows. Nice work, team. You're doing amazing. Oh, wow. It's already 9:05. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Sorry, everyone. I was so into this flow. Okay, let's just take about 5 more breaths here. And then you're going to come all the way up and just roll all the way around. So you're going to come all the way onto your bottom, sending your knees around. Good. Coming onto your back. Draw the knees into the chest. Open the arms into cactus. Drop the knees over to the right. Gaze over the left shoulder. I came across something on Instagram. Oh my God, my bolster is soaking wet. No! This room leaks in the rain. Welcome to the Bali jungle life. Anyway, I came across a post on Instagram that I wanted to share with all of you. It was a caption that I read on a post literally right before this class started. I don't even know the person who wrote it, and I don't even know what it's about, but it just felt so on point with our theme for today's practice. Let's draw our knees all the way up. Good. Drop the knees the opposite way. And she wrote, "The close of another chapter." There's a sadness in the air full of frost and goodbyes. It's time to move forward. I feel grateful for the support and wisdom to be here as I do. I'm walking with death close to my heart these days. And it's become a strange but grounding companion this season. Let's draw our knees all the way back up. Give the body one last little hug. And you can just extend your legs out, coming all the way into a Shavasana. So having been changed, once again, it feels more available than ever to remember that all of this is a gift. One that could slip out of my hands tomorrow. There's something equally terrifying and enlivening about this kind of presence. I grieve on the floor every night with intent to remember it. One of my best friends told me the other day she noticed it too. You're more of yourself, she said. It felt true. Endings have a way of making clear what matters and what doesn't. Being more me feels like the former, so I am. I don't know yet where the road in front of me unfolds. It feels a lot like walking through a tunnel. Thank God or everything else that I've learned to love the dark. Let's give our fingers and toes a little wake up wiggle. A nice long stretch all the way from fingers to toes. Curling the knees into the chest. Giving your body a nice little hug and then coming all the way up to your seated shape with your palms at your heart center. Just as the rain has started to pour in Bali, and I wish you all could hear it. I think the rain on my roof is like the most beautiful thing in the world. Also so loud all of a sudden. Okay, let's close our eyes if it's comfortable for you and lengthen up through the spine. You can always keep them open. And we'll close with our intention today, which is an ancient but original intention. And it was passed from the heart of my teacher, Rolf, and I pass it onwards to you. And it's that our practice remains steady and our efforts continuous, and that our yoga helps and heals, and it serves and it benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe, be happy, be healthy, be free. May the thoughts and the actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. And we'll just finish with a soft Om sound, breathing in and breathing out, and breathing in to make the Om. So taking a big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for sharing space, for holding space. Very grateful for you. The light in me, it sees and it honors the light in you. Thank you, thank you.
The Mindful Life Practice Community.